Hiya my lovelies, it's me. Please excuse the lack of makeup on my face. I've just literally finished work like half an hour ago. I work night, so it's night shift. So excuse the lack of makeup. I've literally just weighed myself, and I thought, now is probably the best time to kind of touch on the subject of weight loss and do a review essentially of these magical little tablets. I've only got one day and a meal's worth left. Which are called Xenical Orlistat, which you may also know as Alli. Long story short, just before Christmas, I've always had issues with my weight. I've always been in denial about my weight. I've always wanted to change my weight, and I've never had the willpower to change it. Just before Christmas, I went to my GP to get some Abeverin for my IBS. And while I was there, I'm on the contraceptive pill Microgynon. When I was there, I said to the GP, I noticed you guys changed my pill over to a generic brand. Is there any way you could switch it back to my old one? And my GP was like, yeah, that's fine. I just need to take your blood pressure. And I was kind of like, oh, right, okay. Just to let you know, my blood pressure probably isn't great at the moment because I've put on like a lot of weight. And every time I've needed to go for a pill check in the past, I've always like crash dieted to lose maybe a stone to get my blood pressure down again. So when I put weight on, my blood pressure shoots up. So the GP took my blood pressure and it came back 180 over 107, which is too high. There's like a set kind of in like the doctor's textbook, it said like the highest blood pressure you can be to still be given the Microgynon based on other criteria. I think it was like 160 over 95. So I was too high to get it. And he turned around and said to me like, I'm sorry, I can't give it to you. And I'm 21 years old, I'm in a long-term relationship. We don't use condoms pretty much, so I rely on my pill as our barrier, a baby barrier. So I was absolutely heartbroken. And he said to me, you need to lose weight. And I thought, right, okay, I'm not getting my pill today. I'm fucked pretty much. And I use my pill for other reasons, mainly to stop my periods. So to be told that I can't have my pill is like a massive, it's like telling someone who's addicted to drugs they can't have their drugs anymore. They panic, they worry, how am I going to get my fix? And for me, my pill was like my fix, essentially. I need it. So I was with Josh, and I went straight to Lloyd's Pharmacy, and I walked in and I said to them, what's the strongest diet tablet you can give me? And they said, we can give you Alli, but you have to have a BMI of over 28. Now, the thing with me is I've always carried my weight. I've always been like a size like 16 to 18. And I never would have thought in my wildest dreams that I weighed the weight I was. And she said to me, well, we're going to need to weigh you and to get your BMI. And I was like, yeah, okay, fine. I know I'm overweight, but, go ahead. And she took my weight and it came back 15 stone 7, which is 218 pounds. I'm 5'6" in height, and my BMI came back at 35, which is obese. Now, to be told at 21 that you're obese, that you have high blood pressure, is really scary. It like the vision I had of me being okay completely, it just went straight away from me. I knew at that point then that I'd let myself go, and I'd been in denial for so long. So I bought the Alli and I started taking it. Now, Alli is actually pretty good. It's the half dosage of these. A few things with Orlistat. It's not a magic pill, but in a way it kind of like, it physically makes you change your ways, and psychologically as well, because you kind of develop a fear of fat, really. So the whole kind of concept behind Orlistat is that it stops about, I think it's between 30 and 35% of your dietary fat being absorbed. And the whole point of it is to eat low-fat food to lose weight, essentially to cut out the calories from fat, so you end up losing weight from it, and to essentially make healthy choices with your eating. But in order for the tablets to work, you have to make those changes in your diet. Now, I'm a junk food eater. I love takeaways. I love Chinese. I love Domino's Pizza, Pizza Hut. I like an Indian from time to time. I love KFC. I love chicken burgers. I love onion rings. I love everything that's bad for me. I love garlic bread. I love cheese. Oh, pasta with loads of cheese and garlic bread. I could eat 2 people's worth of food to myself easily. And I could justify it. Oh, well, I haven't eaten today. I'm allowed 2,000 calories today. I'm just going to eat all this food. Without realising that I'd easily had about 60 grams of fat in this one meal, which is too much. So I started taking the Alli, but I didn't change my habits. And that's where you kind of feel the wrath of Orlistat. I did a bit of research before I took Alli. And you always hear of horror stories about farting out fat and having smelly poos and all these people having accidents. And at first I thought, you know what, maybe it's just them. But I did. I'm not saying this to put people off, but you have to make the changes for it to work. They say to have around about 19 grams of fat per meal. Now for me, I could eat Asda Valley garlic bread. The entire garlic bread has got, I think, like 40 grams of fat. I could eat that whole garlic bread to myself. And at first nothing really happened. I was still constipated. I wasn't losing weight. And then all of a sudden I had a bowel movement which can only be described as angel delight, the mousse. It was mousse coming out of my bottom. And I was getting really bad stomachache all the time. I was getting diarrhea. I was farty. And that's when I thought, you know what? Like, I need to make this change. So I cut out bad food. I have my odd takeaway. Don't get me wrong, I have to treat myself. But I started, I cut out white carbohydrate. I now only have like brown pasta, brown rice. I use 1 calorie cooking spray rather than oil. I have a sweetener, 0 calorie sweetener instead of sugar, because I like sweet things. I started to force myself to eat 3 meals a day. I was eating Weight Watchers meals, a lot of stir fry with like chicken breast, prawns and pure veggies, no rice or anything, no carbohydrate, just lots of veggies. Making like a big batch for dinner and splitting it in half so I could eat later when I felt like I needed a snack. And slowly but surely, the pounds started to come off me bit by bit. But then obviously the dilemma of Alli is the price. Alli costs around about £50 for a month's supply. Is it going to focus? There we go. And I'd lost about £6 at that point after about 2, maybe 3 weeks, which is pretty good going. So I went to my GP, and I think at that point I was 14 stone 8. So I'd lost like just over a stone. No, it would have been a bit more than that. No, I think I was maybe 14 stone 10. Because I've lost more now. Oh, gosh, I can't remember. And I went to my GP. And I said to her, look, I'm on Alli at the moment, but I can't afford it. And my BMI is 32, so I'm still in the category to get it. It's the only way I can get it on prescription. And she goes, yeah, of course. So that's where these tablets come into play. These are called Xenical. She put me down for a half dosage, but the pharmacist gave me the full dosage, which is 120mg, which doesn't really seem to made much difference, but, you know. And so I went and picked it up, and it's £7.40 on prescription, so it's a lot cheaper than £50. So I've started taking Xenical, and the weight has just dropped off me, literally dropped off me. I now weigh, this morning I weighed in at 13 stone 13 pounds. So I've gone from 15 stone 7 to 13, which is a massive drop. My blood pressure's healthy again. I got my pill given back to me. I'm now a dress size 16, whereas before I was kind of 18 bordering on a 20. I have more energy. My bowel movements are a lot more healthier. And all in all, I'm feeling a lot better. But the problem with these tablets, because it's a higher dosage, is that now I'm getting the more nastier side effects for when I'm naughty. And when I was going back to how it trains you to avoid the bad food, it is purely because you don't want the side effects. Now, a few weeks ago, I was at work, and I'd had, I think it was garlic bread. I think I'd given in and halved the garlic bread and thought, you know what, I'll get away with this one today. And I was at work, and the entire night I felt like, you know when you need to have like a diarrhea attack, and it's that feeling on your bot. I kept running to the toilet, and all I was doing was farting. I was kind of, for fuck's sake, like, you know, am I going to shit or am I not going to shit? Just make your mind up. And I got off the toilet and I looked in the toilet and I was like, what the fuck is that? Now, the only way I can describe it to you guys what dietary fat looks like is if you buy like a takeaway, like a chicken tikka masala, that orange kind of oily sauce, and you get like the blobs of oil on the top. It was like that. It was day glow orange and like blobs of oil that come up my bottom, and it was liquidy. And that's when it occurred to me, all the horror stories you read up, this is what was happening to me because I'd had too much fat. And essentially what it does is it gets you to avoid eating the bad foods so you don't get those side effects. So it does work. It does work. So that's kind of my general kind of review on Alli and Xenical for you guys. It does work, but you have to put in the effort yourself, the changes. You do have to exercise as well on it. I'm a lazy sod, but I walk around enough at work. And one thing I've taken to doing is when I'm cooking my food, I do exercises in the kitchen. So I'll do squats, I'll do crunches, I'll do jumping jacks, and I'll do like sets of like 10 or something. So all in all, I aim to do like 50 squats, 50 crunches, 50 jumping jacks while I'm cooking my dinner. And I feel a bit more toned afterwards and healthier. So yeah, I'm rambling now, sorry my loves. That is in a nutshell Orlistat for you guys. I'll keep up to date on here with my weight loss. I'm really sticking to it. I've been doing it for like nearly 4 months now, and I'm doing really well. I haven't been this light in like 2.5 years. Yeah, pretty much. So, onwards and upwards. My goal ideally is to get back down to 12 stone. It's still overweight, but it's a weight I was comfortable at, and I was a size like 12 to 14 at 12 stone. So I've got a lot more work to do, but I am getting there ideally. So yeah, if anyone's got any questions about Xenical or Alli or Orlistat, in regards to like food, what you should and shouldn't eat, any questions in regards to it, please feel free to let me know and I'll get back to you. So yeah, bye guys.